In the vastness of Segmentum Obscurus lies a fortress world unlike any other, a planet of unyielding resolve and iron-willed defenders. Cadia, the bulwark of the Imperium, stands as a testament to the Emperor's foresight, a strategic linchpin controlling the only known passage to the Eye of Terror. For millennia, its surface has been scarred by ceaseless war, its skies a constant theater of orbital bombardments and aerial duels. Yet its people endure. The wind across Cadia's rolling plains carries a subtle warning. Here, the Imperium's vigilance is absolute, yet even the strongest walls can be shattered. Cadia is no ordinary world. Its mountains, carved by the hands of ancient warriors, rise like jagged teeth against the pale light of the system's distant sun. Vast fortresses cling to their slopes, linked by miles of monolithic walls, bastions, and fortified passes. These are the Cadian gateways, passages designed to channel and repel invaders. The soil itself, rich in iron and ash, whispers of countless battles, each leaving behind relics of courage and despair. Here, soldiers are forged from birth, and every child grows under the shadow of war, trained to become one of the Emperor's finest. Yet, even in such a land, silence is a fleeting luxury. The Eye of Terror churns beyond the warp rift, a seething maelstrom of demonic malice and ambition. From this realm of the warp, Abaddon the Despoiler stirs, rallying his legion to the crusade that will shake the foundations of the galaxy. The Cadians have long known of this threat, their lives a daily testament to vigilance, discipline, and sacrifice. But as the drums of war grow louder, even the most stalwart defenders feel the tremor of inevitability. For Cadia, the most enduring bastion of the Imperium, will soon face a reckoning unlike any it has ever endured. Our story begins not at the climax of battle, but in the quiet before the storm. The fortress cities of Cadia hum with preparation. Trenches are deepened, artillery batteries polished, and patrols march across the plains under the ever-watchful eyes of commissars. Life here is regimented, disciplined, and harsh. The cadets of the Cadian 8th, trained in the arts of war from youth, navigate the city streets as their ancestors once did, the weight of history pressing upon them like the armor they wear. In the command citadel of Parmenio, Lord Castellan Kazkin officers pore over star charts and strategic reports. Sensors pick up faint disturbances near the rift, anomalies that speak of warp tides and demonic stirrings. These readings are subtle, yet significant. For Cadia, a world built upon the science of warfare, even a minor fluctuation in the warp can signal catastrophe. Kazkin officers confer in hushed tones, their faces masked to resolve and apprehension. They know that intelligence alone cannot hold back the tide of chaos, yet knowledge is the first blade in any arsenal. Meanwhile, among the ranks of the Imperial Guard, whispers ripple like static across the fortified plains. Soldiers recount stories of the Black Legion, the relentless vanguard of Abaddon, whose deeds have become legend and terror across the Imperium. The tales speak of fleets of warships that fall upon worlds of the inevitability of storm, of demonic hosts that twist reality itself, and of champions who wield power beyond mortal comprehension. For the common soldier of Cadia, these are not abstract myths. They are the very real harbingers of a trial that may decide the fate of their home. Above all, Cadia's greatest strength is its people, disciplined, resilient, and bound by duty. Families live within the shadow of fortresses. Children trained in both warcraft and survival. Engineers maintain the colossal defense grids, while psychers monitor the warp for the faintest tremors. Every facet of life is subordinated to the singular purpose of defense. Yet even amidst this tireless preparation, the tension is palpable. There is a knowing in their eyes, a recognition that the coming conflict will test the very limits of human endurance. The first clear sign of the Black Crusade's approach comes not with fire, but with a subtle, almost imperceptible shift in the warp. Within the deep observation decks of the command citadel, monitors flicker with readings of gravitic distortions and energy fluxes. A sense of foreboding settles across the room like a suffocating fog. Senior officers exchange grim nods. They have seen this pattern before. It is a precursor to the arrival of Abaddon's forces, the herald of devastation. On the ground, scouts report unusual activity near the eastern approaches of the Cadian gateways. Small bands of chaos cultists, previously dismissed as isolated insurgents, have begun to coalesce into organized units. They move with purpose, guided by demonic whispers, and every clash with Imperial forces leaves bodies both burned and twisted in unnatural ways. These skirmishes, minor though they may appear, signal the opening of a campaign that will engulf the planet. In one remote outpost overlooking the plains, Sergeant Alaric of the 13th Kazakin notes a change in the wind. "It carries something unclean," he murmurs, more to himself than anyone else. Around him, the soldiers steel themselves, adjusting armor, checking weapons, and whispering prayers to the God Emperor. They know what is coming, even if the full magnitude cannot yet be comprehended. For every soldier on Cadia, the days ahead will demand courage beyond measure. Courage forged in crucible of fear, loss, and duty. As the sun sets over Cadia's jagged horizon, the planet seems to exhale a final moment of peace. From the surface, one might almost forget that the eye of terror looms in the sky, like a wound in reality, bleeding malevolence into the galaxy. Shadows lengthen over the fortified passes, and the cries of sentries echo against stone walls. Artillery emplacements stand silent, yet every barrel is ready, every shell counted, every mind trained for the inevitable. In the distance, the first signals of Abaddon's armada ripple through the void. Scouts returning from orbit speak of shadowed ships the size of cities, cloaked in the energies of the warp. Within these vessels, the Black Legion readies itself, each warrior a harbinger of destruction, each demon a living instrument of terror. The stage is set, and yet the defenders of Cadia hold their vigil. Their hearts beat in unison with the world's steel and stone, a rhythm of defiance against the darkness that approaches. It is here, in this balance between dread and determination, that our story begins. The Fall of Cadia is not a tale of instant destruction, but strategy, heroism, and inexorable tragedy. It is a tale of soldiers and heroes, of generals and champions, of worlds teetering on the brink of oblivion. It is a story told in whispers, in the screams of battle, and in the quiet prayers of those who face impossible odds. The first moves have been made, the pieces positioned upon the galactic board, and soon the galaxy will witness the clash of titans, the shattering of worlds, and the final, desperate stand-up planet that has endured longer than most could imagine. The void above Cadia darkens as the first tendrils of the 13th Black Crusade pierce the system. Shadows the size of cities drift across the planet's orbital belts, a silent herald of destruction. The fleets of the Black Legion move with terrifying precision, their prowling warships cloaked in the unnatural shimmer of the warp. Within the command bridges of these vessels, Abaddon the Despoiler surveys the sector, his single-minded determination etched in the scars of millennia. Every fleet, every squad, every demon is a note in his symphony of annihilation. On Cadia, the sky is suddenly alive with motion. Early warning beacons flare against the darkening clouds, signaling the presence of enemy craft. The Imperial Navy responds in kind, battle barges and cruisers maneuvering to intercept the incoming tide. Yet even as volleys of macro cannon fire streak into the void, the Black Legion remains unbroken, using the warp itself to mask their approach, twisting the laws of reality to their favor. Below, the fortified plains of Cadia bristle with life. Heavy artillery emplacements rotate into firing positions, while columns of Kazakan march to strategic points along the Cadian gateways. Commissars patrol the lines, their black coats whipping the wind, eyes sharp for signs of faltering courage. The planet's defenders feel a tension unlike any other, a quiet, gnawing certainty that this battle will test every ounce of their training, their resolve, and their faith in the Emperor. The first contact comes not with titanic explosions, but with skirmishes on the periphery. Chaos cultists, guided by subtle warp presences, infiltrate the outer defenses, striking at communication nodes and supply convoys. These are not random attacks. Every maneuver is a probe, a test of Cadia's response. Sergeant Alaric leads a detachment to intercept one such strike force. His squad moves with silent precision through ruined farmsteads and scorched plains, the wind carrying a metallic tang of blood and ozone. Alaric surveys the battlefield through a cracked visor, noting the unnatural movements of the cultists. They are erratic, yet coordinated, their bodies warped subtly by the influence of the warp. The clash is sudden and brutal. Bolter fire rips through the dim light, and the air is thick with smoke and dust. Yet the Cadia soldiers remain disciplined, forming lines of defense, pushing forward methodically, every action deliberate. In this microcosm of the larger war, one sees the essence of Cadian discipline: patience, precision, and a willingness to endure until victory is forced from the enemy. Above them, the sky darkens further as the first tendrils of the Black Legion descend. Dropships cut through the clouds, disgorging elite Chaos Marines into the open plains. Their armor, blackened and etched with unholy runes, gleams malevolently under the dim light of Cadia's sun. Bolters roar, chain blades tear through ranks, and the ground itself shakes with the impact of demonic entities manifesting in the material realm. Each moment is a test of nerve, of skill, and of faith. Cadia is no stranger to war, but the sheer ferocity of the Black Crusade is a weight unlike any other. Within the citadel of Parmenio, Lord Castellan Kael observes the unfolding events through a network of monitors and astral optics. Lines of communication are taut with urgency. Fleet commanders relay reports, and artillery officers adjust barges in real time. Every decision carries immense weight, for a single miscalculation could open a gateway to total devastation. Kael's mind works with surgical precision, anticipating enemy maneuvers even as they unfold. Yet even he cannot ignore the creeping dread that threads through every report, every intercepted transmission, every flicker on a screen. The Imperium strategy is simple but exacting. Hold the gateways at all costs. Cadia is not merely a planet. It is a shield for countless systems beyond. If the Cadians falter, the Eye of Terror will spill forth unimpeded into the segmentum obscurus. Each defensive line, each artillery emplacement, and each soldier must act as a cog in a machine of war, coordinated and relentless. Yet as the enemy advances, the reality becomes undeniable. They face an adversary shaped by centuries of corruption, a foe who wields both mortal and demonic power with terrifying mastery. The first major engagement erupts along the eastern gateway, where a detachment of elite Cadian infantry encounters a full contingent of Black Legion forces. The earth trembles under the march of Chaos war engines, their twisted forms a mockery of Imperial design. Bolters ignite the twilight, chains word scream, and the ground itself seems to resist the footsteps of the defenders. Sergeant Alaric and his men hold the line with grim determination, each shot, each parry, each command executed with a precision drilled into them since childhood. Despite the chaos, there are moments of grim heroism. A Kazakh officer rallies a dwindling squad with single, booming order, pushing back against an otherwise overwhelming tide. Artillery strikes land with terrifying accuracy, scattering demonic constructs and severing the advance of armored columns. And yet, for every victory, there is loss. Bodies fall, fortifications crumble, and the sky above becomes a canvas of fire and smoke. The first taste of true war leaves a bitter tang in the mouths of Cadia's soldiers, a reminder that this conflict will demand more than courage alone. As the battle unfolds, a distant shadow looms, the presence of Abaddon himself, orchestrating the assault from the heart of the Black Legion fleet. His reputation precedes him, a warrior of unmatched skill, a strategist whose vision spans the galaxy, and a master of the warp whose very presence corrupts and warps reality. On the battlefield, his agents execute maneuvers with precision, seemingly anticipating every action of the Cadians. For those on the ground, Abaddon is not merely an enemy commander. He is a force of nature, an unrelenting tide of death and malice against which no mortal preparation seems sufficient. In quiet moments, soldiers glance skyward, sensing the enormity of what approaches. They whisper prayers to the Emperor, invoking protection and courage. They steady their weapons, knowing that survival is not guaranteed, and that every action may be their last. And still, they fight for Cadia, for the Imperium, and for the legacy of those who have fallen before them. By nightfall, the first wave of the Black Crusade has been met, repelled in some areas, and allowed to advance in others. The plains of Cadia are scarred with fire and blood, the air thick with smoke and despair. For the defenders, this is only the beginning, a prelude to a conflict that will escalate beyond imagination. They know, deep within their souls, that what they face is not a mere raid, but a campaign of annihilation, one that will test every facet of their discipline, courage, and loyalty. And so, Cadia stands at the threshold. The first strikes have fallen, the enemy revealed, and the stage set for an epic struggle. The 13th Black Crusade has begun, and the planet, the bulwark of the Imperium, braces for a storm that will reshape the fate of the galaxy itself. The morning rises over the scarred plains of Cadia, yet the light is muted, veiled by smoke and ash. The first waves of Abaddon's assault have left the terrain unrecognizable. Craters pockmark the fields, shattered war machines smolder, and the cries of the wounded echo through the hollowed fortifications. The air vibrates with the distant thrum of heavy artillery, the metallic heartbeat of war, and every horizon trembles with the approach of the next wave. From the command citadel, Lord Castellan Kael reviews the reports of the previous night's clashes. The statistics are grim. Entire squads obliterated, supply lines disrupted, and vital defensive positions compromised. Yet Kael's expression remains stoic. Cadia's strength lies not in numbers alone, but in the discipline of its people, in the coordination of its defenses, and in the unyielding will of its soldiers. Orders are dispatched immediately, reserves mobilized, artillery recalibrated, and defensive lines reinforced. The Cadian military machine begins to turn again, a slow and deliberate response to an enemy that thrives on chaos. Among the soldiers, the cost of war is immediate and personal. Sergeant Alaric's squad has lost 3 of its finest in a single ambush. The ground they defend is littered with the remnants of battle, shattered armor, scorched earth, and the twisted forms of demonic minions. Alaric kneels beside a fallen comrade, his gauntlet hands brushing dust and ash from the figure's face. He murmurs a prayer to the Emperor, a ritual that had become as much a part of survival as aiming a bolter or issuing orders. For the young conscripts, this is a baptism by fire. Fear and resolve intertwine, a constant struggle within each soldier's mind. One can see it in their eyes, the terror of facing inhuman foes, yet also the unwavering determination to hold the line. Every step forward is an act of defiance. Every shot fired a testament to their training and faith. Cadia's soldiers understand a simple truth. Victory is not guaranteed, but surrender is forbidden. Abaddon's forces do not relent. The Black Legion adapts, exploiting every weakness, probing every line, and striking when the defenders least expect it. Demonic entities manifest in the heart of Cadia's fortifications, tearing through walls and defenses with unnatural strength. Sorcerers of the Black Legion twist reality, summoning storms of warp energy that scorch the earth and unnerve even the most seasoned officers. The defenders respond with grim efficiency. Heavy artillery unleashes volleys that shake the ground, plasma cannons flare with searing light, and the sky is alive with anti-air barrages. Yet for every chaos asset destroyed, another emerges. Cadia is a world locked in perpetual conflict, and the war machines of the Black Legion are relentless, a tide that cannot be stemmed by courage alone. Sergeant Alaric leads a counteroffensive against a breach in the eastern gateway. His squad moves with precise coordination, using the terrain to their advantage. They are outnumbered, yet their discipline allows them to strike with devastating effect. Bolter fire tears through enemy ranks, and well-placed explosives collapse tunnels and passageways used by infiltrating forces. In the midst of battle, Alaric confronts a chaos champion, a hulking figure clad in corrupted power armor. Its weapons a blend of demon-infused technology and brute force. The clash is brutal, the ground around them torn asunder with each strike. Alaric's resolve does not falter. Every maneuver, every feint, every shot is executed with a singular purpose: to protect Cadia. The fight is fierce, personal, and emblematic of the larger struggle, a microcosm of humanity pitted against the malice of the warp. As the day stretches on, the human cost becomes undeniable. Platoons that march into field at dawn now lie in shattered formations, their bodies a testament to ferocity of the enemy. Cadia's skies are streaked with the smoke of destroyed aircraft, and artillery barges leave craters deep enough to swallow entire squads. Yet even amidst the carnage, the defenders continue to fight. Their courage is a fragile shield against the relentless advance of the Black Legion, a reminder that the strength of Cadia lies not merely in its fortifications, but in the hearts and minds of its people. In moments of respite, soldiers tend the wounded and offer prayers for fallen. Engineers work tirelessly to repair defensive emplacements, while commissars ensure that morale does not falter. The planet itself seems to pulse with the collective will of its defenders, a living testament to endurance, sacrifice, and unyielding loyalty. The evening brings decisive engagement near one of Cadia's central fortresses. A Black Legion war engine, towering and grotesque, advances through a breach in the walls. Alaric's squad, bolstered by reinforcements, engages it with every weapon at their disposal. Bolters, lost cannons, and plasma guns converge in a concentrated strike. Explosions rock the surrounding terrain, sending debris and fire across the battlefield. For a fleeting moment, the defenders gain the upper hand. The war engine falters, smoke rising from ruptured armor plates. Yet even in victory, the cost is immense. Half the squad is lost. The fortress walls are scorched and crumbling, and the toll on human life weighs heavily on the survivors. It is a small victory in a larger, merciless war, a reminder that in the universe of Warhammer 40K, triumph is fleeting and every gain is paid in blood. As night falls over Cadia, the first wave of the Black Crusade has been partially repelled, yet the threat remains unabated. The defenders regroup, tending to the wounded and fortifying their positions. The planet bears the scars of battle, yet its people endure, steeled by discipline and duty. The events of this day are but a prelude to the greater conflict to come. The 13th Black Crusade has revealed the might of its forces, and Cadia stands on the precipice of a war that will demand everything from those who defend it. The stories of heroism, sacrifice, and unwavering loyalty will echo through the halls of its fortresses for generations to come. And so, as the first embers of the day fade into the darkness, Cadia's defenders hold their vigil, aware that the worst is yet to come. The shadow of Abaddon stretches long across the planet, a harbinger of destruction, and the stage is set for the battles that will define the fate of the bulwark of the Imperium. Show the strain of constant assault. The massive artillery batteries thunder ceaselessly, yet even the mightiest barges cannot halt the cunning of the Black Legion. Abaddon's forces move with precision, coordinating orbital bombardments with ground offensives, and every strike weakens a fortress, a gate, a line of supply. In the command citadel, Lord Castellan Kael convenes the senior officers. The council chamber is heavy with tension. Maps of Cadia are marked with shifting fronts, craters, and breach points. Engineers and logisticians argue over supply routes, while strategists debate whether to commit reserves to endangered sectors or conserve strength for the inevitable climactic engagements. Every choice carries weight. Every decision could be the difference between survival and annihilation. Kael listens, silent and contemplative, weighing the options. To withdraw would be unthinkable. Cadia is the shield of the Imperium, yet to hold every point risks overextension and catastrophic losses. The Emperor's will is clear: stand no matter the cost. And so, Cadia braces itself, a planet of steel and flesh, against a storm that grows more formidable with each passing hour. Meanwhile, the Black Legion exploits every weakness. Armored columns push through breaches, while sorcerers of chaos warp reality around them, creating zones of fear and distortion that unsettle the defenders. Demonic entities tear through fortifications, their presence twisting the minds of those who oppose them. Each skirmish, each assault, is not merely a battle. It is a test of Cadia's resilience, and a demonstration of the Black Crusade's relentless ingenuity. From the perspective of Sergeant Alaric, the fight has become unending. Days and nights blur as squads are dispatched to reinforce faltering positions, repel infiltrations, and patrol the wastelands between fortresses. The soldiers move like shadows over scarred plains, their footsteps measured, their discipline unwavering, yet the toll of loss hangs heavily on their souls. Cadia is their home, their duty, and their destiny, yet the enemy's presence has begun to seep into every thought, every fear, every prayer. In one shattered outpost, Alaric witnesses a scene that crystallizes the human cost of war. A young conscript, barely trained, falls under the blade of a demon-possessed warrior. The squad rallies, repelling the threat, but the loss is profound. The soldiers form a protective circle around the fallen, offering prayers and makeshift rites, even as artillery roars overhead. In Cadia, there is no time for grief, yet every death leaves a mark on those who remain. It is a reminder that duty is eternal, but survival is fragile. Even among officers, the pressure is palpable. Commissars maintain morale with unyielding rigor, knowing that hesitation or despair can ripple through the ranks like poison. The Citadel itself becomes a hive of activity, as medics, engineers, and logistics officers struggle to maintain the delicate balance of a planet under siege. The war is not fought only with weapons, but with the enduring spirit of those who refuse to falter. Beyond the battlefield, tension simmers within the command hierarchy. Representatives of the High Lords of Terror communicate with Kael, offering guidance, edicts, and occasionally conflicting instructions. The Imperium's bureaucracy, vast and rigid, cannot move with the swiftness demanded by war, yet every decision is imbued with authority. Kael must navigate these conflicting currents, balancing the needs of Cadia with the expectations of the Imperium at large. Alliances, long considered stable, begin to strain under pressure. Neighboring systems offer sporadic reinforcements, yet these are often delayed or diverted. Kael realizes that Cadia's defenders may face the coming storm with fewer allies than anticipated. This knowledge does not weaken him, but it sharpens his resolve. The survival of Cadia depends not only on courage and discipline, but on the unwavering commitment of every soldier, officer, and civilian willing to endure. Amidst the mounting pressure, Cadia's generals initiate limited counteroffensives, seeking to disrupt enemy formations and reclaim lost positions. Alaric's squad participates in one such operation, moving under the cover of darkness to ambush a chaos detachment. The terrain is treacherous, riddled with craters and shattered remnants of previous engagements. Bolter fire erupts, explosions scatter earth and debris, and the clash is immediate and lethal. In these moments, the story of Cadia is told in microcosm. The discipline of its soldiers, the precision of its tactics, and the unbreakable will to defend their world. Each victory, however small, is hard-won. Each maneuver, each sacrifice carries weight. For every Chaos warrior felled, Cadia pays a price in blood, fatigue, and the ever-looming shadow of future attacks. As the days progress, signs of strain become undeniable. Fortresses that once seemed impregnable now bear scars too deep to repair quickly. Supply lines are stretched to their limits, and the mental toll on soldiers grows with each successive battle. Alaric, ever vigilant, notices subtle changes among his men. Hesitation in firing, fleeting doubts in prayer, the exhaustion etched into every movement. The war is not only against the Black Legion, but against the relentless erosion of spirit that comes with unending conflict. And still, the enemy advances. Abaddon's forces, adapting to every defensive measure, probe deeper into Cadia's heart. Each tactical adjustment seems anticipated, each fortification targeted with precision. It becomes clear that the planet faces not just a military campaign, but a war of attrition, a test of endurance that will strain every resource, every strategy, and every life. The sun sets once more over the battered plains of Cadia, casting long shadows across shattered walls and smoldering craters. The planet's defenders, weary but unbroken, prepare for the coming night, knowing that the battles of tomorrow will demand even greater courage. The toll of war is etched into every surface, every face, every whispered prayer. Yet in this darkness, Cadia endures. Its people, soldiers, and leaders alike cling to the unyielding principles that define their world for millennia: duty, loyalty, and sacrifice. The stage is set for the next phase of the Black Crusade, one that will test not only the military might of Cadia, but the very spirit of its defenders. In the grim darkness of the far future, the shadow of Abaddon lengthens, and Cadia, the Imperium's bulwark, stands ready to meet it. For now, dawn breaks over Cadia, but the light reveals little comfort. Fortifications that have held for millennia are fractured, their walls scarred by repeated bombardments. The Cadian gateways, once the planet's most reliable defense, have begun to falter under the relentless pressure of Abaddon's forces. Explosions echo across the plains, sending plumes of dust and debris into the thin atmosphere. Every breach is a reminder that even the mightiest bastion can be brought low. From orbital observation decks, Lord Castellan Kael surveys the battlefield with grim precision. Reports confirm the unthinkable. Several key fortresses have fallen, and enemy forces are funneling to the weakened gateways, their numbers swelling with demonic reinforcements. Cadia's defenders brace for the inevitable, knowing that every man, every weapon, and every tactic will be tested to the limits of endurance. The battlefield has expanded. Armored regiments clash in the open plains, tanks and artillery exchanging fire in clouds of smoke and flame. Dropships streak across the sky, disgorging squads of Chaos Marines into the heart of Cadian lines. The scale of the conflict is almost incomprehensible. Thousands of soldiers engage simultaneously, each fighting with precision and desperation. Sergeant Alaric leads a squad into the heart of the fighting. The Kazakhs move with disciplined efficiency, forming lines of fire, covering each other's advances, and holding choke points that might otherwise collapse. Bolters roar, lost cannons flare, and the ground trembles beneath the march of demonic monstrosities. For every enemy that falls, another rises. Every victory is bought at the cost of countless lives. Cadia is a crucible, forging courage and despair in equal measure. In the chaos, moments of heroism shine through. Alaric rallies a group of fleeing conscripts, leading them through a flanking maneuver that destroys a Black Legion detachment threatening to cut off supply lines. His actions are precise, calculated, and fearless, reflecting the highest ideals of Cadian training. Yet even as he succeeds, the toll of battle is visible in the bloodied faces of his men and the ruins around them. War is never clean. Victory is never complete. Above the battlefield, orbital support rains fire onto enemy formations. Thunderhawk gunships dive through smoke-filled skies, launching barges of missiles and plasma strikes. Despite the precision, entire enemy regiments survive, bolstered by the sorcerous powers of the Black Legion and their demonic allies. Cadia's defenders fight with everything they have, yet the Black Crusade adapts, shifting tactics with unnerving speed. As the day progresses, multiple gateways collapse. Entire sections of fortified walls crumble under concentrated fire, and enemy forces pour into sectors previously considered secure. The sounds of battle are overwhelming. Bolters fire incessantly. Chains word scream, artillery booms, and the cries of soldiers, both living and dying, echo across the plains. Cadia is no longer a shield. It is a battlefield consumed by chaos, a testament to both human courage and the destructive power of the warp. Inside one fortress, Lord Castellan Kael issues a final order to reinforce key positions and evacuate civilians where possible. The human cost weighs heavily on his conscience, yet duty leaves no room for hesitation. Cadia's survival depends not only on tactical brilliance, but on the unflinching courage of its people, and Kael knows that failure is not an option. Abaddon orchestrates the assault with devastating efficiency. His forces are no longer simply attacking. They are shaping the battlefield itself. Sorcerers conjure psychic storms of disorient defenders, warp-tainted engines crush barricades, and demonic entities move through the lines like living weapons. Every breach is exploited, every weak point magnified, until Cadia's defenders are forced into desperate countermeasures. The psychological impact is as potent as the physical. Soldiers struggle against fear and fatigue, aware that they face foes who are more than human. The warp itself seems to conspire against them, twisting the landscape, sowing confusion and amplifying despair. Yet even in this darkness, Cadia's defenders cling to hope, a fragile, flickering light in a world consumed by fire and steel. Sergeant Alaric witnesses the toll firsthand. Entire squads vanish in moments, swallowed by the relentless tide of enemy forces. Yet he pushes forward, rescuing wounded soldiers and rallying survivors to hold critical positions. Each action is a mixture of courage and necessity, a reflection of the human spirit under unimaginable strain. The sacrifices made in these hours will define the legacy of Cadia, a testament to the bravery and endurance of those who stand against impossible odds. Even as individuals act heroically, the planet itself suffers. Forests are scorched, plains flattened, and fortresses reduced to rubble. Cadia, a world that has endured for millennia, bears the marks of relentless conflict, its surface a testament to the magnitude of the Black Crusade. By nightfall, the scale of destruction is apparent. The defenders have held some key positions, but the momentum clearly favors the Black Legion. Strategic points have been lost, supply lines disrupted, and morale strained to breaking. The planet teeters on the brink, and even the most disciplined soldiers feel the weight of inevitable loss. Abaddon's shadow stretches long across Cadia, a symbol of unstoppable force and calculated malice. The defenders prepare for what is to come, knowing that tomorrow will demand more than bravery. It will demand sacrifice on a scale never before seen. Cadia's fate is becoming clear. The bulwark of the Imperium will not yield easily, but the cost of resistance may be unbearable. The plains of Cadia lie in ruin, yet the people continue to fight. They are bound together by duty, loyalty, and a deep connection to their world. Every soldier, every officer, every survivor bears witness to the unfolding tragedy, a story written in blood, fire, and courage. Cadia has endured for millennia, but the 13th Black Crusade has shown that even the strongest bastion can be tested beyond measure. The planet is not yet lost, but the coming days will demand heroism, sacrifice, and unyielding faith. And as the night settles over the shattered plains, one truth becomes undeniable. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is no sanctuary, only war. As dawn breaks over Cadia's shattered plains, the defenders launch a series of desperate counterattacks. Entire battalions, battered and weary, advance to the debris-strewn terrain in an attempt to reclaim lost fortresses and choke points. The Kazakin, trained to perfection, move with precision, their bolters blazing, plasma fire searing through enemy ranks, and chains words tearing through demonic and mortal foes alike. Every maneuver is calculated, yet the weight of exhaustion and loss is palpable. Lord Castellan Kael oversees these operations from the Citadel, his eyes scanning hololithic maps as reports flood in. Commanders describe fortified positions falling, supply convoys ambushed, and morale faltering. Each counterattack is a gamble. Too few soldiers risk annihilation, too many leave other sectors exposed. Yet Kael knows that standing idle is not an option. Cadia's survival depends on action, even if the odds are stacked against them. Along the eastern gateway, Sergeant Alaric's squad finds themselves cornered in a ruined fortress. Chaos forces have surrounded them, their numbers overwhelming. Bolters roar and control bursts, while artillery from nearby positions tries to slow the enemy's advance. Alaric rallies his men, forming a perimeter that buys critical time for retreating squads to regroup. In the chaos, acts of heroism shine through. Soldiers cover one another, sacrificing their lives to ensure comrades escape the encirclement. Every shot fired, every charge repelled, is an assertion of defiance against the unstoppable tide. The fortress becomes a crucible of courage, a fleeting sanctuary in a world consumed by war. Yet even as they hold the line, the inevitability of further losses looms, a constant shadow over their every action. Cadia itself bears the scars of relentless assault. Forests lie in ash, plains are cratered and bloodied, and fortresses stand as skeletal remnants of their former glory. The Black Legion employs both sorcery and technology with devastating effect. Warp storms manifest in the heart of the battlefield, twisting the landscape, driving soldiers to madness, and empowering demonic entities to strike with terrifying precision. Even the skies are contested. Thunderhawks and Valkyries engage in deadly aerial duels with chaos craft, rockets streaking through smoke and plasma fire igniting clouds. Orbital bombardments flatten sectors, leaving smoldering ruins where once proud fortresses stood. Cadia's people cling to the remnants of their world, yet everywhere signs of the planet's impending collapse are evident. The human cost of these engagements becomes painfully clear. Entire regiments are obliterated in moments. Heroes fall beneath the weight of unending assaults. Sergeant Alaric witnesses comrades who once stood as pillars of courage now lying broken among rubble. Yet despite exhaustion, fear, and grief, the defenders press on. Each action is guided by duty and an unshakable belief in the Emperor's will. Kael walks among the surviving troops in the command citadel, observing the toll with a heavy heart. The soldiers' faces are etched with fatigue, their armor scorched and battered, yet their eyes burn with determination. For Cadia, courage is not optional. It is the essence of survival. Abaddon, observing from the heart of the Black Legion fleet, orchestrates the siege with chilling precision. Strategic breaches, psychic assaults, and coordinated attacks create a sense of inevitability. Chaos forces anticipate every move, responding with speed and adaptability. Cadia's defenders fight valiantly, but the enemy is relentless, a tide that adapts and advances without pause. In one sector, a psychic storm shatters fortifications, leaving entire platoons exposed. The warp itself seems to conspire against the defenders, warping reality. sowing confusion and amplifying despair. Soldiers battle not just mortals, but universe aligned against them, a world where courage alone may not suffice. In the central fortification of Parmenio, a desperate action unfolds. Alaric, recognizing an imminent breach, leads a small detachment in a sacrificial maneuver to hold a key choke point. Bolters blaze, grenades explode, and chains word scream in confined corridors. The squad is vastly outnumbered, yet they hold long enough to allow the evacuation of wounded and civilians from nearby sectors. Alaric himself sustains grievous wounds, yet continues to command, issuing orders, rallying survivors, and ensuring the mission succeeds. His courage epitomizes the essence of Cadia, an unbreakable spirit standing against the inexorable advance of chaos. Every action in this desperate defense carries the weight of life, death, and the fate of the planet itself. As night descends, the scope of the Black Crusade success becomes terrifyingly clear. Fortresses that once seemed invulnerable now lie in ruin. Entire sectors are under chaos control, and Cadia's defenders are forced into continuous retreat, clinging to the remnants of strategic positions. The planet trembles, both literally under bombardment and figuratively under the weight of impending doom. Kael, observing the scale of destruction, understands the reality. Cadia will not withstand this onslaught indefinitely. The 13th Black Crusade has demonstrated the sheer magnitude of Abaddon's ambition, and the defenders, though heroic, face the stark truth of their mortality and the planet's fragility. Cadia's plains are a landscape of fire, ruin, and courage. Soldiers fight in small pockets. Each stand a testament to the discipline, training, and faith instilled by generations of defenders. The human cost is staggering, yet the planet endures, not through invulnerability, but through the unyielding resolve of those who stand in its defense. And yet, the shadow of Abaddon stretches long. The breaches, the destruction, and the relentless assaults foreshadow the coming climax, the final stages of Cadia's fall. For now, the defenders fight not for victory, but for survival, for duty, and for memory of those who have already given everything. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is no respite. There is only war, and the cost is measured in blood, courage, and sacrifice. By the 7th day of the 13th Black Crusade, Cadia is a planet transformed. Once proud fortresses now stand as shattered skeletons of stone and steel, their walls riddled with gaping breaches. The plains are cratered and scarred, rivers of molten slag running where artillery strikes have carved paths through the earth. Smoke hangs in the air like a pall, suffocating the light of the twin suns, and the cries of the wounded echo across a landscape that seems almost unrecognizable to those who call it a home. Within the Central Command Citadel, Lord Castellan Kael surveys the devastation. Communications are fragmented. Entire sectors are lost or cut off. Reinforcements, though dispatched, are too few, too late. Yet Kael's resolve is unshaken. Even as Cadia teeters on the edge of annihilation, every order he issues is precise, calculated, and infused with unwavering purpose. The Imperium's bulwark may be falling, but its defenders will not yield quietly. The Black Legion has achieved its most devastating breakthroughs. Armored columns surge through shattered gateways, spreading fire and ruin across the heart of the planet. Demons spill from the warp, their presence twisting reality and driving defenders to desperation. Sorcerers of chaos conjure storms that disorient and destroy, their psychic energy burning away both fortifications and morale. Sergeant Alaric, though wounded from previous battles, rallies remnants of his squad to repel one such breach. The fight is brutal. Bolters roar in the twilight. Plasma beams ignite the smoke-choked air, and Chain's words rend both flesh and armor. Every second is a battle for survival, and every action carries consequences. The soldiers fight not merely for victory, but for the lives of civilians and comrades alike. In the ruins of the central fortress of Parmenio, Alaric and his remaining forces make their final stand. The walls are shattered, corridors littered with debris and bodies, yet the defenders hold key choke points, buying precious time for evacuations and regrouping. Each moment is fraught with peril. Chaos forces are everywhere, relentless and deadly. Amidst this chaos, acts of heroism are stark and undeniable. Soldiers shield one another, refusing to abandon comrades even as the tide threatens to overwhelm them. Bolter fire tears through enemy ranks. Grenades erupt with precise timing, and Alaric himself stands as a beacon of discipline and courage, inspiring those around him to continue fighting despite insurmountable odds. Despite heroic efforts, the Cadian gateways, the planet's most formidable defensive lines, begin to crumble. Fortress after fortress falls, consumed by fire, psychic storm, and the relentless advance of the Black Legion. The carefully engineered choke points collapse, and Cadia's defenders are forced into retreat after retreat. The psychological toll is immense. Soldiers who have fought their entire lives for Cadia witness the destruction of the world they know. Every crumbling wall, every fallen comrade, every breach is a reminder that the bulwark of the Imperium is not invulnerable. Even the strongest bastion can be brought low. Yet amidst this despair, the human spirit endures. Cadia's defenders refuse to surrender. They fight with the last of their strength, embodying the ideals of duty, loyalty, and sacrifice. High above, Abaddon observes the unfolding catastrophe with calculated detachment. His strategy is complete, his forces executing the final stages of a meticulously orchestrated campaign. Every breach, every shattered fortress, every death feeds into his ultimate objective: the destruction of Cadia and the further destabilization of the Imperium. The Black Crusade is not merely a military campaign. It is a statement of inevitability, a demonstration that even the greatest bastions can fall before the might of chaos. Yet, for all his power, he encounters resistance that is unexpectedly resilient. The defenders, though outnumbered and outgunned, continue to fight with unwavering determination. Every act of courage, every last stand, forces the Black Legion to expend resources, delay their advance, and acknowledge the indomitable will of humanity. The final engagements are a blur of fire, steel, and psychic energy. Thunderhawks streak through smoke-choked skies, delivering reinforcements and evacuating wounded. Artillery emplacements, though nearly destroyed, continue to thunder, scattering enemy formations. Kazakhstan units, led by Alaric, hold their ground with precise, disciplined fire, repelling assault after assault even as the walls around them crumble. Within corridors of Parmenio, Alaric engages in close combat with Champion of Chaos. Bolter rounds miss by inches, Chain's words clash with explosive sparks, and every movement is a life or death struggle. Though injured, Alaric fights not for survival alone, but for every soldier who depends on his actions. In these moments, Cadia's essence is revealed: courage under fire, discipline in chaos, and unwavering loyalty in the face of despair. As night falls, The scale of the Black Crusade's success becomes undeniable. Cadia's defenses are shattered, strategic positions lost, and the planet teeters on the brink of total collapse. Yet even now, the defenders continue to resist, buying time for evacuation and attempting to slow the inexorable advance of chaos. Kael, surveying the battlefield one last time before being forced to abandon his post, understands the reality. Cadia may endure in spirit, but its walls will not hold forever. The 13th Black Crusade has demonstrated the might of Abaddon's forces, and the planet stands at the precipice of annihilation. Every last act of heroism is a testament to human will, but it cannot stop the tide entirely. The plains of Cadia are a tableau of fire, blood, and courage. Soldiers fight with every ounce of strength remaining, holding positions that have already been deemed lost, standing firm against impossible odds. Their sacrifices are immeasurable, their loyalty absolute, and their spirit unbroken. Yet the signs of inevitable destruction are everywhere. Fortresses lie in ruin, plains smolder, and the cries of the dying echo through shattered valleys. The defenders of Cadia have performed acts of heroism that will echo through the annals of history, but the planet itself begins to succumb to the relentless power of the Black Crusade. In the grim darkness of the far future, even the mightiest bastions can fall, and Cadia, the Imperium shield, stands as a testament to courage, sacrifice, and the inexorable truth that in a universe ruled by war, survival is never guaranteed. Cadia's skies burn with fire and smoke, the twin suns barely piercing the haze of destruction. Fortresses lie in ruins, and the once proud gateways, monuments to centuries of imperial engineering, have been reduced to shattered stone and twisted metal. The sound of bolters, artillery, and psychic blasts is ceaseless, a relentless cacophony that echoes across the plains. Lord Castellan Kael moves through the citadel, observing the last coordinated defenses. Communications are fragmented, orders sporadic, and reinforcements all but vanished. Yet even in these final hours, the defenders act with discipline. Barricades are reinforced, squads repositioned, and civilians evacuated where possible. Every moment is precious. Every action carries the weight of life, death, and legacy. Abaddon's forces advance with unstoppable precision. Demonic titans stride across the plains, war engines crush barricades, and sorcerers twist reality with psychic storms that tear through walls and minds alike. Entire battalions are annihilated in seconds, leaving behind only fire and ash. The planet is being reshaped in the image of chaos, its landscapes burned and scarred, its people pushed to the brink. Sergeant Alaric, though gravely wounded, rallies the remaining survivors for one last stand at a critical choke point near the Central Command Citadel. Bolter fire erupts in coordinated volleys, grenades explode, and Chain's words clash with the monstrous forms of Chaos champions. Each soldier fights with the knowledge that their actions may delay, but cannot ultimately stop the tide of destruction. In the ruined corridors of Parmenio, Alaric and his squad hold off a wave of Black Legion forces long enough for civilians and wounded soldiers to escape. Every step, every shot, every breath is a defiance against the inevitable. The Kazakh's precision is flawless, their courage unwavering, and yet they are acutely aware that they are fighting not for victory, but to ensure others may live a few moments longer. Elsewhere, smaller detachments perform similar acts of sacrifice. Artillery crews continue to fire even as enemy fire surrounds them. Medics tend to dying under barrage, and commissars enforce morale in the face of hopeless odds. Cadia is being consumed by chaos, yet its defenders remain pillars of resistance, proving that courage is not measured by the likelihood of survival, but by the will to act in defiance of annihilation. Despite these heroic efforts, the Central Command Citadel comes under direct assault. Black Legion forces breach walls, demonic entities surge into corridors, and the remaining defenders engage in desperate close-quarters combat. Kael coordinates final defensive maneuvers, but even his experience cannot stem the tide entirely. The planet itself seems to cry out under the strain of war. Explosions rend the earth, psychic storms warp the terrain, and fires rage unchecked across every sector. The human defenders are pushed back, retreating into the last bastions of resistance. Every step is a battle, every breath a testament to endurance, every action an assertion of defiance against the unstoppable. As the final hours pass, it becomes clear that Cadia cannot hold. The gateways are destroyed, strategic fortresses fall, and the Black Crusade dominates the battlefield. The survivors, soldiers, civilians, and leaders alike cling to hope, courage, and faith in the Emperor, but the weight of inevitable destruction presses down on every soul. Alaric, gravely wounded but still commanding, watches the horizon as the Black Legion overwhelms the last offensive lines. He knows that his efforts, though heroic, can only delay the inevitable, yet he continues to fight, not for survival, but for honor, duty, and the memory of those who have fallen before him. Each moment is a testament to the enduring spirit of Cadia, a legacy written in courage, sacrifice, and unyielding loyalty. Cadia's plains are consumed by fire and ash. Fortresses lie in ruin, gateways destroyed, and the cries of the fallen echo across the scarred landscape. The planet, once the Imperium's shield, stands broken, yet its defenders' courage has not been erased. Even in the face of annihilation, acts of heroism endure. Soldiers fight not for victory, but for each other. Leaders make decisions that will save lives even as the planet falls. Humanity asserts its indomitable will against the darkness. Cadia's fall is not a story of defeat alone, but of unshakable spirit, of loyalty and sacrifice that will resonate through the ages. In the grim darkness of the far future, even the greatest bastions may fall, yet the courage of those who stand against the tide of chaos endures beyond the ruin of worlds. Silence falls across the scarred plains of Cadia, though it is a silence born not of peace, but of devastation. Smoke rises from the shattered remnants of fortresses, craters the earth like wounds, and rivers of molten slag trace paths through the ruined landscape. The battlefield, once alive with the disciplined march of the Cadian defenders, now lies littered with the remnants of war, shattered tanks, twisted weapons, and the fallen bodies of heroes who refuse to yield. The Black Legion, victorious yet bloodied, holds the remnants of Cadia in a grim embrace. Demons patrol the ruins, war engines stand amid the rubble, and sorcerers of chaos twist the terrain to reflect the dominion of their master. Abaddon surveys the planet from his flagship orbiting high above, a figure of calculated triumph. Yet even he cannot erase the indelible mark left by those who fought and died below. Then in defeat, the courage of Cadia's defenders shines with unyielding brilliance. Sergeant Alaric and countless others made their stands in the face of overwhelming odds, sacrificing everything to buy time, protect lives, and honor the Emperor's will. Their valor has become legend, etched into the hearts of survivors and into the annals of the Imperium. The citizens, soldiers, and leaders who remained until the last moments embodied the essence of duty and sacrifice. They fought not for personal glory or recognition, but because it was their duty, their calling, and their honor. Each life lost was a testament to human resilience, a defiance against the darkness, and a final affirmation that courage is eternal even when worlds fall. Cadia's fall is more than the loss of a planet. It is a shattering of a symbol, the crumbling of a bulwark that stood for millennia against the forces of chaos. Yet within that tragedy lies the enduring legacy of the people who defended it. Their discipline, loyalty, and sacrifice have inspired countless generations across the Imperium, reminding all who would stand against the darkness that bravery can echo beyond the ruin of worlds. The story of Cadia is a reminder that in the universe of Warhammer 40K, life is a constant struggle. Every action, every choice, every stand taken against the tide of war leaves its mark, shaping the destiny of the galaxy in ways both immediate and eternal. The courage of the few can inspire the many, and even in defeat, the soul of Cadia endures in memory, honor, and legend. As the last fires burn across the plains, the truth of the 13th Black Crusade settles into the collective consciousness of the Imperium. Even the strongest bastions are vulnerable. Even the bravest defenders could be outnumbered, and yet the acts of courage, loyalty, and sacrifice are never forgotten. The echo of Cadia's defenders will resonate through time, a haunting reminder of what it means to stand against impossible odds. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war, and every soul must carve its legacy in fire and steel.